Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
Like you are building your application and like you with various customer requirements. It involves like database, external system and multiple factors like you are constructing. Like in the same way, while you are constructing, like in Pega, you can implement the solution in more than one way. Like example, like you can implement the one particular requirement using activity data transform data page, same using these three rules. But like you need to make sure, like what is the best approach you need to follow that your application will be most performance oriented application. In order to do that, like how will you know like whether you followed right approach or not? Whether you followed the best practice or not, like that. Like we have like guardrails concept in Pega. Like what is mean by guardrails is like it will be determining like what is the exact kind of setup, what is the exact kind of support for your application. Like score will be valid up to 100. Like if you are not using best practice means score will be decreasing one by one, one by one, one by one, like that. And like based upon that, like you will be deciding like what is the real performance of your applications, everything. Like that after score, like what it will be saying is like if it is 100 means then like you followed the best approach in your application and like you do like whatever the Pega suggested and whatever Pega likes, that one you followed and your application is like highly performance oriented. Suppose if it is 70 means then like you are not followed all the best approaches and like there you use like unwanted solutions to you made some hard coding unwanted solution in order to do that. Like in order to avoid that like what, and all we need is like we need to calculate the guardrail score and it will determine like how much rules in your application and because of what rules that your score got decreased and like who is the reason, like who created that rule, which operator created rule, everything you can find. In similar way, like what we will do is like we will take our application. Like the GoGo Road application is there now. The GoGo Road application development has been completed. Now we want to evaluate the quality of the work by viewing the application guardrails to identify the new rules to reduce the compliance code. We need to do that particular thing. Like a case type we completed. This is the assistant request case type. Development we have completed successfully. Like whatever we got from the requirement from the client, like we completed everything. But now, like after completing, we wanted to check the quality of our work. Like how we can check this? Like by checking the guardrail score, we can check. Like if there is any issues in the guardrail score, then we need to try to increase the guardrail score by reconstraining, reworking our particular solution. For that, like what I'm going to do is like in App Studio, like if you see directly, you can see that particular thing. In the overview landing page, like if you see here, like we got the guardrail score. If you see in the right hand side, we got the guardrail score as 80. Currently our guardrail score is like 88. Now, like here, like we have get guidance is there now. Like if you are clicking on this, get guidance means we can see like what are the different kinds of number of guardrail, warnings, descriptions, everything you'll be getting. If you see here, like we have totally 91 results. In that, like this particular property is not optimized. Customer ID for name. Like since it is not optimized, they are saying like display them may result in poor performance. Consult your system administrator about like optimizing these properties. Like another thing is like this particular table is not there, and then page structure data page should have at least one parameter. Date page should only use information caps. All the details, complete details you have. Because of why you got 88 score and like. What are the guidance in order to increase your like, increase your particular things? If you see here, like you will be getting the particular warnings within status as severe, moderate as well. What is mean by like severe means? Like it will totally impact your performance of your application. Moderate means it won't impact 100%, but like it is decreasing your score and it is bad for your application. Like we have like severe, moderate and informational. Informational means it will show you not follow the best practice. Just an informational thing. It won't affect any performance, but like because of this, your score will get decreased. Overall view of your application will be decreased. In that way, like we have like different kinds of particular things. Like if you see, here we have like 3 different kinds of warnings like messages, which is like severe, moderate and the particular things, everything. That express what kind of warning is on. Correct. You will be getting very detailed. If you see here, like all the things will be in detailed manner. Using a custom HTML control to format a column may result in poor performance. Consider using auto-generated HTML controls like that. They will also give solutions for all the things. Like, can we explain one more time? Like guardrails. Guardrails. The guardrails. What is it mean by? Guardrails is like after you complete your development, like that client, the business people need to know like the applications is very good applications and very good performance oriented applications, everything. After using, like after constructing your applications, like you are giving to that real-time users. Why? While using, if they face any issues, means again it will be backlogged, like again it will be like some kind of bad things about our application. Like what we will do is like we, instead of going to direct to the external people and checking our performance of our application, Pega provided and score. In this code, only you can determine like what is your score and like what is the performance of your application. Everything you can do. Like what is the percentage of your application that is bad. Like you can compare by yourself. Like if it's 100%, then there is no problem. Like if above 90, also no problem. Above 90, because like there will be scenario under a percentage you need to use like database kind of operations. Automatically, Pega will consider we use database and it will decrease the guardrail score by 1 point or 0.5 score, but that is required only. Actually, highest percent is 100, score is 100 highest. Highest score is 100. Centi. Above 90 means your application is very good applications. Like 80 to 90, like 75 to 90, it is like moderate application. Less than 70, if it goes like it's not a good application, performance oriented application. In some applications and all, like it will be 665. It's like very low performance oriented application. The client. If they see that these days they won't accept your application, like they'll ask you to rebuild again. Like you will see, like you will be developing dozens of rules, but you don't know because of what rules this guardrail got impacted. If you're clicking on Get Guidance, all the things you'll be getting here. Like in the guidance, you'll be getting and like knowledge, like what is meant by App Studio. Like if you click on work, like it will be displaying like the particular work, like what are the things and everything, stories, bugs, everything. You can check it here. Like in checklist, you can check like what are the different kinds of checklist things. Like example yesterday, like we saw application security, right? Those kind of checklists like application guide creation, automatically you can create. This is called developer assistance. In this way, like you can make all the things. If you are directing, means your application start code will be increased. Now like we'll try to increase this guardrail code. Now whatever we developed till like yesterday, because of that we got 88. Now like what we'll do is like we'll try to increase our guardrail code for that. Like we'll see like what approach we are going to follow. Now like what I'm going to do is like I'm going to like in App Studio, like we'll take one kind of severe kind of warnings and then like we can try to reduce that one. Like if you see this first one, it is very severe. The meaning all the things are moderate only. Moderate and informational only. Now I know like a bit, only like one error we have very severe like a warnings. Like here, what they are saying is like the customer ID full name, which we are using in our screen. It's not like it is not optimized. Like what had happened is like, due to this, like it is, there isn't poor performance. Like consult your system administrator about optimizing. Now like what we'll do, like we'll optimize this one. Like automatically, like it will remove from this warnings and our guardrail store. Like we'll see whether it is increasing or not. Now I shifted to Dev Studio. Like here, like we saw, like in App Studio. What is the error? Where is the error? Like here, if you see the error is in report definition. If you see here, the error is in report definition and the report definition name will be here. What is the report? Definition name here is like case status review. Like what I'm going to do is like I'm going to open this case status review in Dev Studio, which is like report definition. You will find like every rule name also. If you see what is the rule type and what is the rule name. Here first one is report definition and rule name is case status. Second is class vehicle mix and third is data page at service provider. Like that, you have like all the rules, name and easily you can identify and you can fix it. Now, like what I'm going to do is like I'm going to search with that particular case's status review. I got one report definition rule. Like here, what I'm going to do is like I'm going to open this particular report definition. Whenever you open the rule here, it will be getting some red color message like red color warnings kind of thing. That means like you have some moderate warning or severe warning like that. Like you will be getting a message when you open the report definition. While creating any rule, immediately when you save, it will show an error. Like error means it will allow you to save everything. It will allow you to perform all the requirements you can satisfy, but it will affect your performance. Solution you can achieve, but it will affect your performance. Now if you see, like, this is our report definition. Here, like, what it happened is like we have like one severe or moderate. Like, just like we can review or edit it. Here they're saying the same thing. If you see, here we got in our apps to be right. This customer ID full name is not optimized. Like, it is in poor performance. What we need to do is like we may need to reduce this one. For that, like what we are going to do is like we'll open the property and we'll optimize it. What is meant by optimizing is like we don't have this particular column in database, but we are trying to refer in the report and we are trying to access that result. Things like what it will do is like, since it is not in database, it will create in PGR, but like while saving it will impact the performance. Like it will retrieve only very slowly. Like in order to avoid that, like we'll see like how we can do that particular scenario. You understood, right? Like what we are trying to do. We are trying to remove some error. Actually, we are trying to lower the severe warning. What is the severe warning is like? We have 4 columns in this report. These 3 columns are in database. Just directly, we are using here. There is no issues, but this customer ID full name, it is not in the database. Like when we are trying to use it in the report, there will be some performance kind of issues. Like what we are doing is like we are going to add this. We are going to optimize it that it will also be added in the database. Actually, how would we know that it is not in database? Like we are getting the message warning straight, like if we are clicking on review or edit, you are getting like this customer ID full name. They mention clearly, this property are not optimized. It is not optimized means it's not presenting database. Like you will be getting not only this, if you add some other property which are not in database. Also you will be getting another error which is like this property is not optimized. We need to add this property in database. Correct. Like we need not to go to database and add it in Pega itself. You can optimize. There is an option for optimizing. If you do that, it will be added. For that, like what I'm going to say, I'm going to App Studio. Sorry, not App Explorer. Here, like it is in the assistant request, this report definition, like what I'm going to do is like I'm going to open the assistant request case type. Just I open the assistant request. Here it will show like all the properties, all the data, like all the kind of reports, everything. If you see here, like in reports, when I expand, we have like one report definition in this report definitions. We have like this much reports. Like case status reviews, like one of the report here. Like whatever we created, all we will discuss about it. Whatever we created, it will be present in this particular class whenever you click on. Now like what we are going to do, they are saying this particular property is not optimized. Like what we are going to do in data model, we have the power property. Here, if you see there is a property. Whenever I expand, it will show all the property. Here like what property they gave customer, ID full name. Like there is a customer ID property here. Like whenever we expand like customer ID, it will have all the account ID coverage level, first name, enrollment, full name, itself. Here what they are saying full name is not optimized. customer ID, that full name is not optimized. Like what we can do is like the full name. We need to optimize now. What I'm doing is like I'm clicking right click. I will right click on this full name. And then if you see like optimize for reporting, I got one option. Just I'm clicking that optimize for reporting option. Automatically one pane will be opened. Optimization pane will be opened. Like it will involve some steps, like 3 steps it involves. If you complete that 3 steps automatically, like it will be saving into database like a backend, and it will be optimized. If you see here, like it is showing like this is the database table name. A PEC and also GoGo work and database is like Pega data. This is the particular database name. It is confirming like whether in this database only this property is present, like whether you want to add it or not, like that it is asking. Now like if there is more than one data, you can select that particular. Like in our scenario, there is only one table. It's only one table where we want to add our particular this column. Just like what we are doing is like we are clicking on next. First step got completed. Second step is like eligible classes. Here you will be getting like for the same property. If it is a multiple class means, then it will be saying like more than one class here. Like it will show like what are the classes you wanted to, what are the table, what are the database, name, everything it will be showing. Here we need not to do anything, just we will click on next. Now like what we'll be doing is like we'll click on finish. After that, like now what it will have happened is like now the particular things will be completed. Like that's it, very simple. Now it got added to the database. Now what we are going to do is like we are going to save this, and like we'll save like whether it got the decision. Now like I'm just saving this property. Here like if you see like we have that same thing, only one severe warning is there. Like what I'm going to do is like I'm going to save this property as well. Sorry, save this report definition as well. Now if you see that it got removed, that the error warning got removed. Now like no error. Like now what we'll do, like we'll go back to the particular App Studio and we'll see that our results were initially it was 88. Now like what I will do is like I will refresh. I will refresh this page. Now if you see guard is 91. Like whatever we have, if we resolve them, then the support will be increasing. Correct. In this way like it will peg. I will suggest now if I click on get guidance. There is no severe set guard removed. This is called guard day support. Like first step is like it's not only App Studio, you can check it like just a very easy purpose. I'm asking we check in App Studio. Directly everything you can check in Dev Studio. Like in Dev Studio, you can go. And here if you see like configure option is there now under configure, like you can expand this configure. You can click on this configure. Here like you have like various kind of things. First thing is like application. In this application, like if you see quality is there in quality, Like if you see like guard is there in guard is. Like if you click on that, there will be an compliance code. Like from Dev Studio, you can check like what is your recent compliance code in your applications. Like if you see here, it will be showing the compliance code is like 91 out of 100. Here it will be showing like what is the percentage of complaint rule. What are the total rules in your application, and what are the rules with warnings, and what are the rules with unjustified warnings. Everything, all the details. Here they will provide the immediate format. Correct? Like if you see here, you can click that as well. There is a rules with warning 64 rules. Whenever you click on it, it will open who created that rule as well. It will say like if you worked on some rule change, it will mention like Pernell created this rule, but he didn't justify the warnings like that. You will be getting that message that we can ask them whoever the person is working. If you see like update operator is there. Like what are the rule type like report, definition, flow data page. All the names will be there. Like whatever the things, data will be there. Everything it will be there. Rule name, everything it will be there. Because like in a normal, in real time, as 6 or 7 developers will be working, like those many people are working means like we don't know who based upon whose rules we get, there is an issue. In order to identify that, like we can see here, like who created whose name lost, updated everything, and we can export to PDF and then we can send the mail as well. We can send the mail to all the 6 developers and we will ask like these are the warnings and these are the rules, like please justify it. Like that we can say that. For that, like what we can do is like we saw, like what is the error? Like what we can do is like in this report, there was an error with this particular column. It is not optimized. Like what we try to do is like this is a report definition and in this report definition, this column is not optimized. Like in App Explorer, we open that particular property and then like what we did is like we just optimized. Like if you see here customer ID, we open and full name. Like we open and then like we are clicking on right and the right click on this full name. Like not only full name. Whatever property you want, you can right click on it. It will ask like optimize for reporting. Whenever you click on it, you will be asked to with 3 steps. Just you can select that you can follow that 3 steps and then you can complete automatically. It will be saved in the particular database. This is the guardrails, identifications and doing running doubts. No, actually I don't doubt here. After optimization, like clicking right here. After optimization, we are getting close to it. You want to see that 3 steps. Like just like you click on that optimization, it will be asking like this is the present class which is present. Like what is the mean is like this will be. This full name will be stored as an variable character 2 to 56 in this particular database table name. It will be next. We need to do nothing. Like just to be need to click on next. This is an rule like which is usually only this particular class. Like there is an full name same it will be used in different classes also. Example, GoGo wrote like in new vendor also they will be using the same name, full name. That time, like it will be having like another role here. Like if you want to add optimize there also, then you can select the check box and click on next. Like normally, one property will be present in like more classes, like 10 to 15 classes. It is present means then you can select what classes you want to optimize. You can select that alone and then you can optimize it. It depends on more like this one. Like based upon which table you want to do, you can do it in that table. Like remaining, you can uncheck it. If you see, here it is taken on, just like you can uncheck this one and then like you can do the respective things. But actually we need to select any one of them like it is possible. At least we need to select one of the table class name. Then only like it. There is a meaning for this optimization, right? Here I'm going to open the assistant request case type. Here assistant request. Case type is the parent service. Case type is the child. Already we discussed on it. Now what will happen whenever the customer creating the assistant request case? Whatever the services they offer, that will be present in the service case type. It will be called and then like what are the services they offer? It will be going to the particular user and then it will be like they can see, like whatever the details, like they want, like they will do it and they will complete the case. Now like what I will do is like I will run this one of the case like assistant request case. We'll get them a like idea. Here, what is the issue is happening is like whatever the services we clicked on it, every time we are getting only one services, like only one thing, we are getting in the final result. Like in while doing testing, like some team has find out from this one. In order to like identify what is the issue, we are going to make some kind of a debugging thing. Basically, debugging is whatever kind of data we have that we have debug on small. Is it a meaning of debugging? Like now, there is a drop down. In this drop down, like you have like 4 reasons, 5 reasons. Like in suppose you are not getting the drop down reasons at all. It is empty means then you need to find what is the issue, why it is empty and why, because of what reason it is getting empty. That time, what you need to do is like you need to debug and you need to find it. For debugging, like you will use like that razor tool or clipboard, these things of tools you can use. Just like I will process it quickly. But you need to process after completion of project basically. Correct. Like after completing of your requirement, not completing project. You are working in this scenario like where you are going to develop this screen. Here, like you are not able to copy. Like you made some change but it's not coming. For that, like what you can do is like you can debug. Just like I will skip this quickly and then I will go to the necessity screen. Here I will do like 2020. Now we got it. Now, like what I'm doing is like just I'm clicking on submit and going to the next screen. We'll go to service screen. Now like select service provider. It got validated. Now we are going to service screen. Now like what we'll do is like we'll just click on submit. Now, if you see here in the select services things, I'm selecting unlock 1. If you see here, I'm selecting unlock 1 and I'm selecting replacement key 1. Replacement key 2, I'm selecting. Normally, like now, totally like on 125 service total happened. This is like in service case. It went into service case and service team made these changes. Like the service team, they made like 2 changes here. One is like they made some unlocking and another thing they made replacement key. They 2 things they made for the customer. These 2 things only need to be carried forward to the customer building and this total cost only need to be done. But now what is happening is like whenever I click on submit, whenever I click on review summary by default, like now, like if you see here, like we are getting the same thing here. Like we are getting unlock and replacement key, everything, but like when we enable that tracer debugging like wrong thing, it will be showing like wrong data. For that, like we'll see like how we can correct that particular data. Actually, like by default, this tracer has not been on. Like we need to on the tracer and then like we need to make sure like something has been wrong and then we need to like do some kind of fun settings. For that, like what I'm going to do is like I'm going to click on this records like and then like there will be various options, right? Here like there is an option called system admin and like we are going to select like dynamic system settings. What is mean by dynamic system settings is like we'll say this as like DSS. What is mean by like? Suppose like you are constructing some kind of fun value and like where you need to on and off periodically. Example, in real time, like when you are working in project, there will be multiple environment. Like we can say like we have like development environment, testing environment, and we can say like a production pre-product that we have different environments. Each environment, your code need to work in different way. In the development and like in testing environment, like I need to be like, if you want to send some kind of an email to the particular customer, means it should not send to the original email ID. It should send for the developers only automatically in order for testing the exchanges in production only. Like whatever the email ID the customer entering, to that email ID it should send. Because like we should not like bombard that like email, like while making our changes to be, should not use like the current user data. And then we should not make them to get like spam mails and all. In order to do that, like what you can do is like you can use like dynamic system settings. Like what you can do is like here you can differentiate like based upon which environment you want, like different kinds of fun things, and then you can make those kind of configuration settings here. Actually, for a spamming, it's non-pandemic to avoid. This brings with the dynamic system. Correct. Are you going to do that? No. Like what you're asking. Dynamic setting. Are you going to do that or do you need to do it and write something up? Your voice is too low. Actually, we are going to discuss the dynamic setting, or is it actually done by Pagan? No. Dynamic setting is like just to be. Now we are going to do something straight like this is only like we are going to discuss. Dynamic system settings like example, like if you see here, like what I will do is like a setting purposes there. I will click on tracer. Now if you see here tracer error is there, right? Now tracer error is off. Whenever you want to make some kind of an error or some kind of changes, like I said, only example, right? Like in development and testing environment, email should be going only to the developers, not that real-time users. While in production, like that email should go to the real-time users. Because like in development testing, we will test with many scenarios. That time, if we every time it goes to real-time users, they will get more spam mails. In order to do that, like we'll use like DSS. Now one question is like we are right now discussing debugging. Or is it done debugging? Actually, we are discussing debugging. Debugging, we are discussing, right? Like in order to debug, like you need to use the tracer tool. Like in DSS, like they made tracer error as off. Now like what we'll do is like we'll make this tracer as on. And then like now if you see news, like we will get that particular error. Like tracer error was off. We won't get any error. Now, since we made it on like we have now, we will get some error. Now error is visible to us. Now that error will be visible to us. One point is like this is people V is connected to dynamic system setting DSS. No. In real time it's not connected. Real time, it purely depends upon your screen and your development. Since like this is a cloud instance, they created DSS and they made that these kinds of scenarios. Actually, we are using DSS for finding the error, which we'll find out where it will be now. No. Like we'll not use debug like a dynamic system settings for debugging or nothing. Dynamic system settings, when it is used, is like whether you wanted to send it an email, like example. I will say it in a scenario with them or not, but you will understand better. Like example, like in real time. Like real time, we have like various kinds of environment development, environment testing, environment staging, re-prod, and then like we have prod. Like this much environment we will have in some scenarios, like we have like different kinds of environment also. Here, like you are developing one screen as a developer, you are going to develop one screen which consists of email thing. Like here, like while you are testing, you are making some change, and while you are testing, like what you do is like you'll be giving some mail ID, which is like, but what we need to do is like in development and testing, we should not send any email to that real email ID. Because like we are just developing and we are testing locally. Every time what it need to do, like we need to get to the developer email ID default. Developer email ID, we need to get that email ID like every email default. Like what? Even if you are giving real-time email ID here, we need to get an email to the developer email ID only. That is also only in these 4 stages. In final stage like real-time, whatever email ID we give, because in production the real-time users will be there, and then we need to send this particular users. For this, like what we'll do is like for this, like we'll construct DSS. Then we'll make sure what are the different kinds of environment, and what environment you need to make, what kind of fun changes. If you are making production development testing stages, when you are selecting that one, it will select only the user who are creating to them, their email ID will go, and in production real time email ID will go. This is one of the example. Is it you are explaining by email? Basically, the developer has different email, production has different email. Right. Basically, but I am not able to this final link between DSS, something like where you are not able to find. What I'm getting, I'm explaining. Like developer has email. Like you said, it's a developer email. Here is the capital of S. Not like just to ignore this one. Actually, when in development environment, when you're near working, you will, people will give you some sample test data in order to test your changes. The test data will consist real-time users data sometime, and you have their email ID, their phone number, everything you will have in development environment. Whenever you try to fill that particular details of them, normally what it will happen, as per your configuration, the email will be sent to that particular whatever email ID you entered here. But in development and testing environment, we should not send to their email ID whatever we are entering. Because if it is a real data, real customer data means in development testing, you will create multiple cases, you will test multiple times. Every time you will, that person will get an email. He will think there is some spamming is going on. I like that. You will be thinking about. In order to avoid that, we will be sending mail only to the people who creates the case example. You are the tester or you are the developer. Even though you give real-time customer data, it won't go to them. It will go to your mail ID only. Understood. For developing, we are getting real-time data, but actually we don't want to paste that data or sending mail to that actually, because it will be going to that customer. We are actually testing on that, but not sending to them. Understood. Then spamming, and we brought reproduction. Explain me the other steps as well. Like in testing in Ramans and staging, everything is same, scenarios only. We should not bombard the real customer email like a mailbox. Like in production, only what we need to do, we need to mail to the real customer data. We need to send a mail to the real customer data, whatever he entered the email address. That time alone, we need to mail to that particular whatever the field that we are entering, that field he need to receive an email. If you take this scenario first, for environment we need not. We need to send an. We should not send a mail to that email real-time customer data. Only in last environment we need to do it. How we can do we cannot. You cannot able to log into every environment and you cannot able to do it. Because as a developer, you will be having only access to development only. Remaining environments, how you can make those change. In order to do that, we have DSS. Actually, we require the develop tests. I think we want that for requirements taking. In DSS, you will be mentioning that for environments. Each environment, what needs to happen? You will mention in the development environment only. Like what it will happen. This DS will be taken to testing environment automatically. Whatever it is that it will be working. Like if we in real scenario we are getting any kind of error, then that time we just move to the DSS in DSS that we have 4 steps. We can develop this second report, then after we can move to the production step as well. Correct. After that we will be clearing that error as a solid. I want to start this. But the point is after in development step, we are getting some data, real-time data. We are using that, we are testing, but in production, that time we don't have any kind of data inside because we just remove the data, and when production time is user enters the data, that time in database we don't have any kind of data because we are collecting the data from example. Whatever technology we are going to develop is based on data, but that was real also, but later we are not using. Right. And after production, if 10 users, we have found that we are getting data from user, but we have found any kind of error, then that time we are using DSS for that first step. Before that, we are doing that, developing the project. Correct. DSS we will do in development today only. As a developer, you will give all the core environment, each environment, how it should behave. Like that you would be doing. Now by default, this tracer is there now only in this instance it is showing like this. But in real time it won't have this tracer. If you are facing any error directly, you can click on tracer and you can see this kind of errors. This is an instance. We are seeing this kind of things. Actually, how would you know that? Tracer would do all that. But actually, how would I know? Actually, you should not know this. You don't want to know this also. Because I know, as part of this environment, they made one DSS and they would be want to on it. But in real time, you need not to go for this dynamic system settings at all. Directly, you can create a case. And in this case, if you face any issues, means directly, you can click on tracer and you can find this. We will get that. What is the error? Everything we will get in the tracer. But in our scenario, this instance is there now what they have to dislike. Whenever we on this tracer error, only we will get an error like that. They designed this cloud instance. For that purpose only, we are turning this one to on. Normally, you need not to worry about dynamic system settings or any other things for debugging. You can just create a case. If you are facing any issues with any field or drop down or any radio button, just you can click on tracer and you can see what is the error. And then you can find that issue and they can see it. Now just what we are doing is we click on it on and then we will just save it. Now what we'll do is we'll configure the tracer settings. Now if you see here I clicked on tracer, I just opened the tracer. In the tracer, it will be showing various kinds of fun. These things, settings, breakpoints, watch everything. Here, what we are going to do is whenever we are clicking on settings, it will ask what tools you want to debug. In Pega, we have multiple rules and right. We have, if you take it, we have a case type or a synchronous activity, a B query data pages, decision date, a decision map, a decision table, decision 3 declare expression, flow, we have this much rules. It will ask if you want to know, if you want to debug only particular rules, then you can select the particular rules. It's like you can make like all the rules to be selected, that all the rules, whatever it is there, it will be calling. Now like if you see, here we are selecting activities, data transforms, win rules, everything. Like we are doing that one. And like if you see here like a rule sets like rules, it's also like if you can select like what rules that you want to debug specifically. Like what I'm going to do is like I'm going to deselect all. And our application is related to this Gogoro. Only this rule sets. I'm going to select that. I will find it like rules will be less. Because whenever all the rules are being checked, like the rules will be, count will be more industrious, that we will have like 10,000, 15,000 lines. It is difficult to find. Whenever we select only the particular rules, what are the rules we develop, that only it will go up. Just like what are the rules type you wanted to debug, or what are the particular kind of things you want to debug. Everything you can give it. And then just you can click on. This pause and clear is there now. Whenever you wanted to debug, you can click on play. Whenever you don't want to click, like whenever you want to stop the debugging, you can click on pause. Now like what we'll do is like, and now we'll create like, we'll minimize this, like I didn't play it yet. Just like I'm going to create another decision. Now like we'll to the particular select service systems. Now like what we are doing is like we are doing like unlock one, and then like we are doing like replacement key one. Like now totally like what happened. Now like we are making unlock one and like replacement even totally 50%. If I totally 70, this one is should be coming in. Never like a review. Like now, like what we'll do is like we minimize that. There's another, we will expand it. And then like we'll click on play. Now like just like we'll change this to any other things to do like that. Now like what we are going to make is like totally for. Now like what we are going to do is like we are going to click on submit. I know I selected unlucky and replacement key only. Now it went to a different thing. Now like what we'll do is like a we'll go the particular assistant request case. Now like I will click on this particular goal. Now if you see here like what I selected. I selected replacement key and like a lock key. Now but what I am getting here, I got like tire repair and tire replacement, which is completely wrong. Right? Like because like selected services, they selected like lockout and like replacement key. But here they the real like, it is showing different data, which is like tire repair and tire replacement. Totally wrong. Services is showing as an review screen. What we need to do is like this is an error. This is an issue. We need to identify the issue. For that only like what we did is like we created, like we ran this particular now we here. If you see like here we can see like all the like we can see this much line side. Like it will be here. We can see like what is the particular results. Everything. And we can see here. Like here, like what is happening is like a totally 8 services are there. In the 8 services, like what is happening is like we got first service to be true. What is first service? Like first service is like unlock a vehicle. Like this unlock vehicle is true. And like what is the next service is true. If you see all the remaining 2, 4, 5, 6, all are false and 6 services to what is the 6 services replacement. This this only real time we selected. Like in backend, it's showing correctly like this true. Only you are selected this out of 8 services. These 2 services only be selected. It is becoming true. But why it has been copied to the review screen differently? That one like we need to see. Now, if you see here, like we have like a selected services, 1, 2. Here, like if you see the second service. I will search for service. Now, like the service type here, it is like locked out only. Now, like I'm going to click on this particular selected service. Here, like what I'm going to do is like. Now, if you see here, I'm the selected service. Like we have like a different service like tire repair and like a we have like another service called the placement key. Like a totally, this is the wrong right. Like what we wanted to do is like we want to select like original report, like whatever we are doing, that one we need to select. Here, like we found, like we are getting copied because due to some kind of fun, you should like. What we can do is like we can open the particular settings and then we can see like what is the, because of what rule we are getting that error. Like if you see, like whenever you open this particular thing, normally you will be getting like all the what is the rule name and what is the because of what you are getting an error. Like in from bottom, if you see, like I will explain you again. From bottom, if you see like whatever out of 8 services, first service and 6 services, like if we see here 60 services, first service is true. Like a first service is like a lockout and the 60 services like replacement key. Like it is a real data what we have tested. This is working fine. When we move a little forward in the selected service, if you see here selected service step, here only there is some mistake happening. Whenever we click on this particular service, you can see like event name, event key, everything. In the event key, you can find like what, because of what rule. Like the issue is like, if you see here, like we have this much big line, like if you see this under class name, go road work assistant request. Up to this is class name. And after this, there will be a rule name. If you see here, test values for invoicing like this is the rule name. This is because of this. There is an issue in the screen. Like what we'll do is like we'll minimize this one. And like in a development studio, like we'll check whether any of the rules exist or not, like this. There is a data transform called test values for invoicing. What I'm going to do is like we are going to open this one, and here only like because of this data transform only, there is an hard coding happening every time. So because of this data transform only, there is an issue. Now if you see here, like every time, like this data transform is setting tire repair, tire replacement. Only like in this particular year, to case we are getting tire replacement, tire repair replacement, that also unit cost quantity, everything they have hard coded here 25 to 191. Because of this issue only, like we are getting that particular wrong information in that review screen. Now like what we need to do, like we need to remove this data transform that I have at the end of the, like I will click on actions and I will see like do you references. It will show like that about this data transform effort. It will show you everything in this view references. Like if you see like the reason flow in this flow, only they reference this one. I'm just opening that flow. I'm just clicking on that. In this flow, there is a path icon. Where is the path icon? Path icon determines like there will be a data transform. Here only the data transform is there. Now like what we are going to do is like we are going to double click on this connector. If you see this test values for invoicing, they are called it here. Because of this, like what happened, every time it is setting to tire replacement and tire repair, only because we have set it like that in this data transform. Now what we'll do, we'll just remove this one. Now data transform got removed. Now we'll save it. Now like what we'll do is like we'll create a new assistant request case. Now like what I will do is like I will clear this data transform. I will clear this taser. I'm clearing this taser and I'm clicking play again. Now like we'll see like what are the correct data, how it is popular. Now what I'm doing is like I'm doing like gasoline 3 and then tow vehicle 2. Totally how much happened to that. Now I'm going to submit it. Now I will go open that. Now like a resolution, we'll see. Like it went up to this one and a review service summary. Like we will see like in this attachment. Now, like here, after this like review summary is happening. Like in this review summary, what it will be happen. We'll see that as well. In this is a review service summary screen. Like what? Here nothing is there. Now we'll see here nothing is there. Now like what we can do is like I'm making like gasoline 2 to region 3. Now I'm clicking on submit. It's for that computer. I'm opening here for. This one is there. Now, if you see like it has been coming correctly, like 2 vehicle, we selected 3 and gasoline, we selected 2. Previously, it was showing like every time tire were like this one, right? Because of like we removed this data transform from that flow. Now it's working correctly. How we found that? One is like we found like in this particular tracer, we found that issue. Now like if you see here like and now whatever we selected like 7 like a 2 vehicle and these things gasoline. We selected last to do only we selected. It is selected here correctly. And now like if you take like selected services like this part is will be like done by any other guy. Each and everyone has to do this part. Actually, like if whatever you're developing in that you are facing any issues, then you can use the tracer for seeing your why you are facing issues for your scenarios. Like it's a purely a deep into like where we can check our one thing. That is about this debugging tools. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.